Technology's really changed the way customers buy, but it's also changed the way salespeople sell. Today we speak with Tam Vu, Director of Self Wealth, a publicly listed company, and Managing Director of Vitae Partners. Tam's background in technology has really changed the way businesses such as SEEK and BP have operated. Tam, thank you so much for allowing us to talk with you today. Your opinion matters a lot. Your background in technology, especially with the likes of BP, SEEK and many others, and obviously your board level now with Self Wealth, and you obviously are Managing Director for Vitae Partners. What is your opinion of the sales function as we speak now in this current day and age with COVID?
Look, I think the function has become more important than ever. Obviously, from a consumer's perspective, the world's changing. People are looking to buy things online. People are looking to buy different things to meet their needs during COVID-19. So at the retail end, I suspect, there is going to be a structural shift from the physical stores to, the online channel and potentially other channels. So the sales function needs to evolve because it can't just stand still and pretend that the consumers will expect the same thing. And one of the things that I think has happened over the years when the consumers' behaviours change, at the business-to-business level, the B2B, that also changes because, people's expectations change when they buy on behalf, or they buy whatever on behalf of their businesses. So I think the sales function serves a very important role in this current climate because firstly, it needs to educate people on how to transact differently. I think the role will become much more about engagement and relationship management, depending on where you are within the spectrum of B2C versus B2B. And I think it's very much then the role of the salesperson to support the customer through not only the sales transaction, but but after the transaction as well.
So to extend on your comment there, do you think therefore sales is an absolute critical function to business, or do you think it's a necessary evil?
Absolutely, it's essential. It's going to look different is the point I'm trying to make. I think we've seen in the 90s, the automation of the back office with the arrival of enterprise resource planning platforms, better known as ERP. Then in early 2000s, you had solutions like Siebel from Oracle starting to automate the sales process. But moving forward, I think artificial intelligence, predictive modeling, predictive technology will take the sales function to some degree in a different direction. You almost need to predict what your customer wants and have the conversation around that rather than what the customer wanted 3 to 6 months ago.
Yeah. So with technology now and the customer, if we look from a customer buying behavior, how do you think the rise of technology, SaaS platforms, has really changed the way buyers purchase? Do you think they're a lot more informed? Do you think they're smarter? What's your opinion of that from a buyer?
Oddly enough, I think they need more hand-holding because there are so many choices out there. If you look at whatever you want, there's a platform out there and you can multiply that by 10. So the sales function then is not about flogging or selling the latest widget. The successful salesperson will be the person who can hold the hand of the customer, guide him or through that process, with a view of at the end of the day, the customer will make the right selection for the customer. And I think the salesperson, the smart ones, will get out of the process of buying, but it's more about enabling and supporting the customer to be successful. And I think that should be then the evolution of the sales role.
That's interesting you use the word enabling. I've always believed that sales is the enabler for a customer to achieve their desires. In relation to that enablement comment, how do you think salespeople nowadays are leveraging technology to enable them to do a better job? Do you think technology will replace salespeople?
Oh, technology will never replace people, especially for a high touch function like sales, but also a very personal kind of, touch point because you actually have to get to know your customer. I think today, most salespeople on the whole are not leveraging technology. I think if you look at tools like Salesforce and so forth, that in theory is supposed to help organizations and salespeople to be successful. The salespeople actually don't like those tools because they see it as being a burden on their time. They see it as a way of head office, keep in touch on what they're doing. They see it as an intrusion of their role. And I think to be fair to the salespeople, selling, I think, has got two aspects. There's kind of the technical side of selling, and I think that can be measured and monitored, but there's also the softer side of selling, which is about relationship management. So right now, I think salespeople caught somewhere between these two paradigms. And so they're not leveraging technology. I think, the majority of them sees it as a chore. And I'm sympathetic to that, but I think that needs to change. But it's not only the salespeople who need to change. I think it's also organizations will need to look at their sales functions quite differently.
So it's interesting you say that potentially salespeople see technology as a little bit of a hindrance. How do you think organizations then can use technology in a different way to help their sales function service their customers? Because you say we have a soft skill, which is all about relationships. Surely tech can help sales people increase that relationship.
I think technology can help insofar as gathering the data and turning that into information to make the salesperson more successful. Having said all of that, I think the salespersons need to have the softer skills and the emotional intelligence to use that information sensibly in the right context in a relevant way. Just because, I know more about you, it doesn't mean that you're going to give me work. I also have to strike up a relationship with you as the customer. So I think technology will simplify the sales function. It should make their job easier. It should help them to think about the world slightly differently. It should present different scenarios to them so they can have a think about it. For example, I could spend many hours with you, but am I going to get a return on that? And I think technology and platforms can help the salesperson to do it. So we'll take it a fair way there, but it will never replace the salesperson because at the end of the day, the customer, I think, ultimately still wants to talk to someone, still wants to have that relationship, and still wants to be shown through the process of buying something.
Tam, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you and your insights from your experience. You have a wealth of knowledge, and I thank you so much for allowing us to have this conversation with you today.
Pleasure and good luck.